Good afternoon, everybody. So today is the third day of the Vesak month, according to Tibetan calendar. Also, we already celebrate or commemorate the three important days in the last month. Generally, yes, we have a Vesak month, then we have a month of the training wheel of Dharma. So we have a few important month, important date according to Buddhist culture. As a Buddhist, every day we must consider very important day to study, to practice the Dharma. One day pass, for example, today is the third day of the Vesak month according to Tibetan calendar. That means the 2 days already has gone, is past. One day pass, we must have a stone, bit regret. Oh, the 2 days pass, few months pass, few years pass. In the past, I didn't do a lot of Dharma practice. At the same time, we must think today, since today, every day, I will follow Buddha teaching, not just only follow the Buddha teaching, I will practice the Buddha teaching in my daily life. Therefore, as a Buddhist, every day, every moment is important and very precious at that time. Because our life is so precious, also the time very important. Therefore, we should not, waste our time doing nothing, doing meaningful things, meaningless things. Because some of you attended the His Holiness teaching based on dependent origination or praise to the Buddha Shakyamuni, also initiation of Avarodha Shora. During the teaching, during the initiation, His Holiness very much emphasized for 2 important practice. Practice of dependent origination or practice of emptiness and practice of bodhicitta based on great compassion. Particularly, we follow Mahayana teaching. Mahayana follower, Mahayana practitioner, great compassion is the heart of Mahayana practice. Therefore, every day we need to practice great compassion, compassion towards all sentient beings. Therefore, beginning of the entering the middle way, Chandrakirti, instead of making salutation to Buddha, Bodhisattva, Manjushri, he made salutation to great compassion. So therefore, we need to know the point, the sequence. At the beginning, Chandrakirti is compassion, great compassion. There are 2 types of compassion. General great compassion means have a pure compassion to all sentient beings. Second, generate compassion towards all sentient beings based on knowing them impermanent. Third, also generate great compassion towards all sentient beings based on realizing all sentient beings are devoid or empty of inherent existence. Therefore, the compassion is the very important at the beginning of the Mahayana path, in the middle of the Mahayana path, at the ending or at the end of the Mahayana path. Compassion is very important. Therefore, second parts, after from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th Bhumi, then slowly Chandrakirti explained very precisely on emptiness. Also, we need to know the point. First, we need to practice compassion in order to develop, not just visualizing I am practicing bodhicitta. We must, practically, we need to develop bodhicitta based on compassion, based on knowing all sentient beings impermanent, include me. Knowing all sentient beings empty of inherent existence, include me, the practitioner. Then have a compassion and actually need to generate compassion. Then the second point, if we only generate the actual compassion and bodhicitta, we can be bodhisattva. But we cannot be free from the samsara, the root of samsara. Also, as a, for example, you practice, you already generated bodhicitta. As a bodhisattva, I wish all sentient beings free from suffering. So, without realizing emptiness, I myself cannot be free from samsara because cannot be free from the root of the samsara. Therefore, in order to benefit myself, in order to free myself from the samsara, I need to realize emptiness. In order to free all sentient beings from samsara, I must realize emptiness. Then, practicing these two practices unanimously, which is the actual bodhicitta and the emptiness together. First, the practitioner, like me, we ourselves, free from the afflicted emotions, include the root of the samsara, that we will achieve the omniscience. Then we have the perfect, methods, means how we can free all sentient beings from samsara. For example, so many of us, have been receiving a lot of benefits from the Buddha teaching, particularly how to control our anger, attachment, hatred, how to generate inner happiness. So we, receiving lots of benefit Buddha teaching. So Buddha taught the teaching because he possessed omniscience. He possessed omniscience because he became a fully enlightened being. How he could, how he did become Buddha, because he, he accomplished the meditation path. That's on seeing path. He achieves seeing paths. That's on the preparation paths. He accomplished the preparation path because he did accomplish the accumulation paths. So we, as a Buddhist, particularly as a Mahayana practitioner, we have to follow how Buddha, has gone through all the paths step by step. Therefore, we always must remember my main practice is practicing bodhicitta and practicing the wisdom which realizes emptiness. Also, another way we can say, every day I need to generate great compassion, then bodhicitta. Every day I need to generate bodhicitta. And every day I need to meditate on emptiness. Meditating on emptiness with the bodhicitta, generating bodhicitta with the meditating on emptiness. So we cannot generate emptiness. We cannot really say generate wisdom. We say meditate on emptiness, then the wisdom going to develop, going to have a great progress. So meditate on emptiness, generate or cultivate bodhicitta. Then as another few, I think we don't have enough time anyway. So there are many of us, particularly some of you, without knowing the important, without knowing the point, the actual reason, we try to, we attend for receiving a lot of initiation, empowerment, which is, one hand is good because you receive a lot of initiation, empowerment, just, have a lot of blessing, have some kind of, the mental imprint, which is you brings to your next life. In the other hand, all the empowerment, initiation, they look like quite, useless because we don't know the point, we don't know the main reason why did we, receive initiation. There are, 4 kinds of Tantra initiation in Tantra. So also in the future, you must know all the, different kind of order or different kinds of, different levels of Tantrayana. Whether you practice the Vajrayana, higher Tantrayana, lower Tantrayana, Mahayana teaching, bodhicitta must we need. We need bodhicitta. We can generate bodhicitta if we have a pure, great compassion. So today we will discuss more how we realize emptiness. I hope all of you fully understand the importance of realizing emptiness. The more you practice great compassion, bodhicitta, the more you become a very calm, a kind person, compassionate person. Still, there's a lot of chances to arouse attachment, anger, hatred, ignorance, because we haven't realized emptiness. Means you are a very compassionate person, you are a very kind person, you have a kind heart, but still you are look like very ignorant person because you don't know the actual, the reality of all phenomena. Means you are a very kind person, still you are ignorant person. Some practitioners very much focus on realizing emptiness. Through study, through analytical meditation, the person realized emptiness. The person fully understood how things exist. That the person has a very, like a deep wisdom, profound wisdom to realize emptiness. The person is very intelligent. He or she knew how the thing exists. Very intelligent, but the person doesn't have, the kind heart. The person is not compassionate because he or she, haven't generated great compassion, bodhicitta. Therefore, we need to practice two of them, like a unanimely. Make sure must know the point. Realizing emptiness is very important. So in order to realize emptiness, this, the commentary, the illuminating the intent by Namasongkhapa, based on Chandrakirti entering the middle way, on the commentary, first explain the benefit, all the benefits of realizing emptiness. So before we buy an object like a phone, laptop, computer, whatever we buy, we need to know the quality. We need to know, what the benefits it has. Therefore, you can see a lot of advertisement for, laptop, computer, mobile, medicine, all the green tea, coffee. There were a lot of advertisement. So when we watch, when we hear the benefits based on advertisement, then we have a strong kind of desire for buying the products. The same thing, so Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, include Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna, Ramasongkhapa, they are very kind person. Therefore, first they explain us what are the benefits we can have when we realize emptiness. Therefore, since today you must remember all the benefits based on the illuminating the intent. It's a nature. When you understood the benefits, then you want the things. If you don't understand the benefit, if you don't know the quality, you don't want to buy it. If you know it's really good, such as great, then you will buy. Second, then how we should realize emptiness. Then first, the step, say, identify the object of negation. Identify the object of negation. So when we think about how I could identify the object of negation, it's not easy to understand because it is kind of the first time. Also we have been hearing, all the many masters have been saying identify object of negation. But we don't, focus very much how to identify the object of negation. For example, first we, today talk a little bit about impermanence. It's something, in order to realize impermanence, also we need to negate the negation in terms of impermanence. Clear? in order to realize impermanence, we need to negate the negation in terms of impermanent, related to the impermanence. For example, impermanent of the flower. There's a flower. The flower is the basis of impermanent of flower. The flower itself is impermanent. Also, everybody, let's say the fully mature person, everybody know the flower lasts maybe a few months, then the flower drop, then there's a seed, then the seeds drop, go underground and grow the sprout. Again, flower. Flower lasts for a few months. We know. That's mean we only know the growth impermanent of the flower. In order to realize the growth, impermanent of flower, no need logic. No need any kind of, like study. You can see the growth impermanent. Everybody understand. So we are talking about the subtle impermanent of flower. The flower is the basis. You just observe, you watch the flower for 10 seconds. You just continuously observe the flower 10 seconds. We cannot see, the flower is changing momentarily. The color is same from the first minute to 10 minutes. The shape, the flower, everything before us is exactly the same. Therefore, we don't understand the subtle impermanence of the flower. So in order to realize the subtle impermanence of flowers, then we need to negate, we need to deny the flower cannot be exist more than one moment. So we need to negate the permanent flower. The permanent flower is the negation of impermanent of the flower. The flower is impermanent, not the permanent. So we need to negate the permanent flower. So in order to negate the permanent flower based on the flower, first we need to understand the definition of the permanent of the flower. The definition of the permanent of the flower. So what is the definition of the permanent flower? The flower which exists continuously more than 1 minute. The flower exists more than one moment is the definition of meaning of permanent of flower. Clear? So the flower exists more than one moment is the concept in our mind. Actually, the flower cannot be exist more than one moment. Mainly the negation or the permanent flower is just exists in our mind. It's just input by our thoughts. In the reality, the flower exists only one moment, not more than one moment. If you believe, if you think, oh, the first moment flower lasts more than one moment, if you believe this, that means you grasp, you have a strong the grasping, grabs the flower as a permanent. In order to realize impermanent, we need to negate the negation, which is permanent. The permanent is not we talking the general permanent we need to negate on the flower. We need to negate the permanent flower based on the flower. Means through logic you need to know the flower lasts only one moment, not more than one moment. This means you realize impermanence of the flower. You realize the subtle impermanence of the flower. This is the example or analogy. The second, realizing emptiness. It's exactly the same. So in order to realize emptiness of the flower, again the flower is the basis. So we need to know the flower is not exist inherently. The inherent existent flower is the negation. Inherent existent flower is not actually on the flower. It is in our mind. Mean we exaggerate, we impute the flower as an inherent flower. So we need to negate, we need to deny the inherent existent flower based on the flower. Then there's two important higher school within the two Chitta Mantra school and Madhyamaka. As I mentioned before you many times, according to Chitta Mantra, all the external phenomena, the house, the car, and all the physical things around us, exactly look like illusion, exactly like a dream. Night time when we are sleeping, suddenly we have all kinds of dream. House, car, going overseas, coming back from other, meeting friends, eating food. We have all kinds of dream. According to Chitta Mantra, all the external phenomena are exactly like a dream. Reflect from the mind. I use the projector and all the image on the screen. That there's nothing externally exist. It doesn't mean they don't accept external phenomena. They accept external phenomena like a house, water, fire, wind, house. They accept. But all of them look like a dream, illusion, dream from your mind. But the mind itself exists inherently, independently, substantially. Therefore, the inner world is existing there. Then second, the higher school, which is the Madhya Mak or Madhya Makka. Mak is better. Madhya, middle. Mak means path, middle path. Middle path. Right? The middle path of person. The middle path of view. The middle path of path. So when you realize actual emptiness, you become the middle way person. Also, you already achieve the middle path. Middle is a very important, profound meaning. Middle means exactly in the center. You cannot bend one side. You cannot bend other side. You have to be very straightforward. in the center, on the center, on the right in the middle. Make sure you be always in the middle. Neither the nihilism nor absolutism. Your way of thinking, your view on any phenomena, always in the center. Mean neither nihilism nor absolutism. Mean the things around me is exists. Everything is there. Not absolutism mean they are not there as a independent. And those are there, emptiness doesn't mean there's a nothing. So your view always must be in the middle, exactly in the middle, cannot bend once a little bit, then you fall over. Also, you cannot bend, other side. You also fall into one extreme, the middle way. Two kinds of middle school, Sutantika and the Pasangika. So the last class, we discussed a little bit about the differences between these two schools. So I repeat one more today. I thought it's so important. This few pages very important. We don't understand this meaning of these few pages, the rest of the pages so difficult to understand. Grasping at true existence. Page number 85, 185. Grasping at things as existent as described above, which is not posited by the power of conventions such as a name alone, constitute innate grasping at the thing as. So this is the definition of the true existence. Once more, you can read once more. Not posited by the power of convention, such as a name alone, is constitutes innate grasping at thing as. That means here you just imagine everybody commonly, reflect on a flower. So just think about a flower, any kinds of flower. For us, the flower means innately we think the flower is not posited through power of our own minds. Convention such as name alone. So when we have this kind of, belief, things are not exist by power of thoughts, minds. Mean is the definition of truly existent. The opposite, everything around us exist, established, power of the thoughts, power of mind. How we know, generally, how we know things are, things are around me is posited by my own power, established by my own power. In one way, in one hand, it's quite simple. For example, this is a simple cup with a black coffee. Okay, black coffee, simple cup. When I'm showing you the cup, Some of you going to say, oh, the cup is looks so beautiful. The color is very nice. The shape is very nice. Some of you very much like it. Some of you, the color is very ugly. I don't like the brown color. I don't like the shape, the size. Maybe you have another view. There's some of you neither going to say nice, nor going to say no nice. Just have a neutral view. There's been just one cup has a 3 different view. Some of you have a nice view, some of you have a ugly view, some of you have a neutral view. That means some of you who believe, you think the cup is nice. The nice cup is established, posited through your own mind, power of your own mind. Same, the person who has an ugly view on the cup, the ugliness of the cup is also posited through your mind. Some of you have a neutral, neither ugly nor nice. The neutral view also posited through your own mind power. A cup is just a simple object, neither ugly nor beautiful. Not ugly, not just simple object. The object, nice, ugly, is our own thoughts. This is one analogy, one example, how we positive think through our own power, mind power. For example, another example, let's say you're going to buy a HDB. You're going to buy a HDB. When you buy, it's just simple house. There's another house next to it, same house. But after you bought the HDB, you designate a name which is a Tushita, pure land. You just put a name in your house, says a pure land or Tushita. Since all the people around you, include you, for you, the simple HDB became, like one of the Tushita, not the real one. It's become Tushita. Everybody say, and somebody say, I want to see the Tushita house. Then somebody show next to your house. They say, no, it's not the Tushita. This is the Tushita. How the simple HDB became Tushita? This because of power of your mind, inputted by your own minds. Right? Therefore, things exist there, not inputted by thoughts, is the meaning of definition of negation of the emptiness. Then there's 6 different terms. First, true. Second, ultimate. Third, absolute existence, means true existence. Ultimate existence, absolute existence. 3. Next 3, existence by virtues of an essential nature. Existence through intrinsic characteristic. Intrinsic existence. There are 6 different terms. That means this is exactly the same. One person has a 10 name. For example, my name is Lobsang Yonten. You can say Lobsang Yonten, this here today. When you say Lobsang Yonten, means this person. Geshe Yonten means this person. I have another name, Lobsang Sherap. Lobsang Shera means this person. And I have a nickname, Thang Truk. Mean my village name is Thang. Truk means boy, boy from Thang. Thang plus boy, Thang Truk. That means Thang Truk means this. Geshe Yonten means this person. Lobsang Yonten means this person. Or Geshe Lobsang Shera means this person. TBC resident teacher means this person. There's are many names, just one person. There's a different terms in the Pasangika. Actually, the meaning means independent existence. Doesn't matter which term you use, the meaning is exactly the same. That means, according to Pasangika, there's no true existence, no ultimate existence, no absolute existence. There's no existence by virtues of essential nature. There's no existence through the intrinsic nature. There's no existence, intrinsic existence. None of them. That means any phenomena, again, the cup is not true existence, not ultimate existence, no absolute existence, no existence by virtues of essential nature, not existence through the intrinsic character, no existence, intrinsic existence. This comes with none of them. Here, according to Pasangika, none of the phenomena can exist, any of them. Now, second, the Swatantika existence. And the object grasped as a by such as mind is, hypothetically speaking, the measure of true existence. This means hypothetically, this is the measure. This is the how the negation must be like that. It is the case here as well that one need to be realized of the being true sense of the terms ultimate. Is a very common to be confused. Ultimate, when you see the words ultimate, there's a two possibility, the meaning ultimate. When qualify the object of negation with the previous ultimately, that means, let's say, we say conventional truth, ultimate truth. Ultimate truth. Ultimate truth, the emptiness is ultimate truth, right? Emptiness is ultimate truth. And the rest of the phenomena are conventional truth. The ultimate truth, ultimate is referred to the wisdom, which is realized emptiness directly. This means the Arya's wisdom, which realizes emptiness, is the ultimate mind, ultimate. The emptiness realized by the Arhat's wisdom, therefore we call ultimate truth. This ultimate truth refers to the wisdom. Here the ultimate is, refer to the qualification of the negation with the previous ultimate. This ultimate referred to the negation. Although the proponents of the Swatantika Madhyamaka maintains, from their point of view, maintains other three, which are other three, maintain the existence intents of the first three. What are the first three? True existence, ultimate existence, absolute existence, and so on to be impossible. That means, Pasangika said, any of phenomena can exist any of the six symbol. Then Sautantika, according to the Sautantika school proponent, all phenomena, it is impossible to exist in the first three. Mean none of the phenomena exists, truly exists, ultimately exists, absolutely was impossible. First three, true existence and so on to be impossible. They nonetheless accept on the conventional level the remaining other three. So what are the remaining other three? Mean existence by virtues of unessential nature, existence through the intrinsic characteristic, intrinsic existence, three. Other three, existence by virtues of unessential nature and so on. These three is exist. All phenomena exist, according to last three. Personally, now Lama Tsongkhapa so on. Personally, I see what Lama Tsongkhapa said. I see this Sautantika standpoint to be example of great skillful men. So have guide those who are for the time being. He said, for the time being, not capable of easily realizing the extensive, extremely subtle view of suchness. The six divided into three. Pasangika said none of the phenomena exists any of the six. Then the Sautantika school said any of the phenomena can be existed any of the first three, but everything exists according to last three. This, this kind of differentiation is Lama Tsongkhapa feel very skillful to entering into actual emptiness for the time being. So here, realizing emptiness or not, if everything up to you, is in your up to. There are said many times, I mentioned many times, absorb just one phenomenon, few weeks. Watch the flower, look at the flower, analyze. The phenomena is truly existent or not, ultimately existent or not, and absolutely existent or not. You need to analyze. You should not think, oh, it is not absolutely exist because Lama Tsongkhapa said, Chandrakirti Nagarjuna said, no. You yourself need to analyze. If you seriously analyze how the flower is exist, surely, definitely, we will realize emptiness. Definitely. Otherwise, we just follow the tradition. Oh, according to Chandrakirta, this. According to, Chitamandara, this means. We are look like, telling story ourselves. We are telling story for others. In the actual, we don't have any experiences. We need to analyze. We need to investigate. We need to study based on one object, which is flower. Once you realize emptiness of flowers, the same idea you can apply on yourself, mean I, me, how I exist. Then you will realize emptiness of the person. But the time being, if you don't have capable to realize the actual emptiness, then you just follow, for the time being, you follow the, what you call, Sautantika school. for the time being. Mean, until you have the capable, you just follow, then still you need to do study. Then one day you will just empty. Therefore, Lama Tsongkhapa is a very skillful. Thus, the purported reality of phenomena not dependent upon some other factor, namely the convention-making conceptualizing object. An innate, intrinsic natures supposedly not possessed through the such as conceptualization is what is called self-existent. There's a kind of edit extra word by the translator, namely the convention making conceptualizing subject, an intrinsic nature supposedly not posited through such as conceptualization is what is called self-existent. This is the meaning of self-existent, the meaning of negation. And this is the object of negation. Now you can say object of negation, self-existent, inherently existent, ultimately existent. Everything is actually the same meaning, same thing. If you need to, pinpoint, just same thing. So if somebody asks you, if you ask yourself, what does mean the negation? What does mean, self-existent? Mean, if you believe the things around you, including your body, you exist without power of mind. Mean you are believe, you have a grasping on the true existence. This is the negation. Okay, once more you read. Thus, the purported reality of phenomena not dependent upon some other factors. Other factor referred to, namely the convention making conceptualization. Right? That means the phenomena not dependent on exists, not dependent on conceptualization is the meaning of self-existent, meaning of negation. And the absence, what absence? The thing, absence of, not posited through the power of mind is the, then relation to the person has been studied to be selflessness of person, while its absence upon the phenomena such as eyes and so on has been studied to be selflessness of the phenomena. That means the negation is exactly the same. The negation which is negate on the person, being, or selflessness of the person. The negation which is negate on the other phenomena, then selflessness of the phenomena, emptiness of the phenomena. That means emptiness of the phenomena, selflessness of the phenomena differentiate based on the basis, not based on the negation. For example, the permanent, the definition of permanent is negate on the cup, absent on the cup is cup, impermanent cup. Absent on the like a glass is then emptiness, impermanent of the glass. The negation is same. Two different bases, then there's two different meaning. Same, the self-existent, the negation which negate on the person being, that we say selfness of person. Negate on the rest of the phenomena, or we name selflessness of person or emptiness of person. Here, simply you can just make a conclusion. The phenomena which exists not dependent on the thoughts and name is the definition of self-existent, is the meaning of negation. Then the self-existent, the negation which negate on the person is emptiness of the selflessness. The negation, the self-existent negate on the rest of the phenomena is the selflessness of the phenomena. That means two kinds of emptiness because the two different bases, person or being, the rest of the phenomena. From this, we can implicately understand the grasping as such as an intrinsic nature on the basis of the person, on the basis of the phenomena, are two forms of self-grasping. Right? That means there's two types of phenomena. Then the negation, grasping on the phenomena, that we can put, grasping on the phenomena. The negation grabs on the person or self, that we say grasping of the person. Therefore, two bases. Therefore, there's two types of grasping. Implicitly understand that grasping at such as intrinsic nature on the basis of the person, on the basis of the phenomena, are the true form of self-grasping. This is declared at the commentary on the 400 stanza. Then also you should not confuse here. There is a person. Person not refer to the human being, and person, being, living being is synonymous generally here. Person not refer to be human. Then there's a quotation from the 400 stanza. Here, what is the referred to as self? What does mean self? Is that intrinsic nature, namely the nature of the thing conceived by as not depend upon other, is the definition of self. Please read this through line quite few times. Here, what is referred to as self is that intrinsic nature, namely the nature of the thing conceived, concept of it as not dependent upon other. And the absence of this is selflessness. That means this is the definition of self, self-existent, negation. This particular, the kind of the character which is absent of this is selflessness because of the twofold distinction of the person and the phenomena. And therefore, there's two types of selflessness or two types of emptiness. The two types of selflessness, the two types of emptiness differentiate based on the basis, not based on the negation. Distinct of person and phenomena. This selflessness is understood in terms of the two kinds of selflessness of the person and the selflessness of the phenomena and the selflessness of the person. So these are very, very, very important. If you're very serious about emptiness, first really need to know the definition, the measurement of self-existent negation. Then this negation negate on the phenomena, the emptiness of phenomena. The negation negate on the person because of selflessness. The two types of emptiness or two types of selflessness, distinguish based on the basis, based on the, the negation. Plus, you need to remember, Pasangika point of view, all the six has a same meaning. According to Sutantika tradition, within the six, first three has a same meaning. Last three has a different meaning. Things are exist, the last three, not the first three. So you need to remember. Then, more precisely here, next, page number 186. Here too, in the following, Chandrakirti explains that the true forms of selflessness are distinguished not from the viewpoint of what is to be negated, but from the viewpoint of what is to be negated, but from the viewpoint of their basis. The Buddha taught no self in twofold terms, that of the phenomena and that of the person. Now more precisely here, what regard to the innate identity view of grasping, as self-existent. Since the root text entering the middle way rejects the aggregates as its object of focus. And furthermore, in the commentary, the self that is dependently designated is said to be object of focus. We should take the mere I. Yes, now we can say there's two terms of selflessness. Like now, and there's also two types of grasping. Self-grasping and grasping on the phenomena. With regard to the innate identity view of grasping, this one I think in the past, when we have seen, the words innate identity view, innate identity view in Tibetan. Some of you, have been studying Tibetan. Jikta, lenhe means innate, lenhe. Then view means identity, innate identity view is a jikta. Yes, I think in the past, many of you very confused the words. So I remember jikta. Pressing view, right? Pressing view.
Geshe, I think it's perishing aggregates.
Yeah, pressing aggregates, right? Then many confused, pressing aggregate. As mentioned many times, when you read in English, sometimes you totally confuse the words. Pressing aggregate. How come? Because they translate from Tibetan to English. Tibetan we say jikta, jigsaw la tawa. Jig means pressing, like a decay in a changing. jigsaw aggregates. Then view, start. Now here, today Jimba translate as a innate identity view of grasping. You keep this two different translation in your mind. Innate identity view of grasping as self-existent. Since the root text entering the middle way reject what they reject, what is reject? Reject aggregate is the object of focus. Therefore, the innate identity view of grasping not focus on the aggregates. Chandrakirti rejects the aggregates is the focus of view of innate identity view. Aggregates is to object of reject the aggregate is as its object of focus. And furthermore, in the commentary, the self that is dependently designated as said to be object of focus. Now again, many of you are totally confused. You don't know what I'm saying, what I'm talking. You look like, oh. First, you need to know two types of grasping. Self-grasping, grasping of the phenomena. Self-grasping of the phenomena, self-grasping of the person. Two types. Then, you talk about grasping, right? Regard to that, then there's a two concept again within the grasping, two types of grasping. One is the innate, one is the non-innate. Because of artificial, exaggerated grasping. Now we are talking about innate identity view of grasping, which is pressing aggregates, view of pressing aggregates. This is the innate identity view of grasping as self-existent is a mind. The mind grasps. So if it is the innate identity view of grasping as self-existent is the mind, then what is the object? What is the focus? Entering middle way reject the aggregates as his object of focus. The five aggregate cannot be the object of focus of the grasping as self-existent. Then what is the focus of object of identity view of grasping as self-existent? And then commentary, the self is the focus of innate grasping of self-existent. That means the self is the focus. So now we are talking about two types of kind of self or being. One is conventionally exists. One is the negation. Which one we are talking? The negation self cannot be the focus. The focus is here dependently. The self that is dependently designated is said to be its object of focus. We should take the mere I. The mere I, me, are the focus of innate identity view of grasping as self-existent. The merely I, which is dependently designated as to be the object of focus. We should take the mere I or the mere person, that is the focal object giving rise to the thoughts, I am, to be the object of identity view. As aspect that commentary said, the thoughts I am imputes a self that does not exist, concepts such as self to exist and manifestly clinging to it as real. So here talks, two important. The first important is talk about the innate identity view. Innate identity view of grasping at self-existent. At self-existent. Grasping at where? Grasping at self. A self-existent. So what this means? What is the object of the identity view of grasping self-existent? Aggregates? No. So merely I is the focus or object of identity view of grasping as self-existent. Then second, there's same way, again, should not confuse. Someday we talk about ignorance. Innate ignorance. Innate self-grasping are same. The innate grasping or innate ignorance grabs I as selfly existent. That means the ignorant focus on the I, me, mine, and grabs as a self-existent. Therefore, we go ignorant because he focused on I. The aspect is, truly existent. Therefore, ignorance. Therefore, object. The ignorant how focused on the I, and also the ignorant how perceived the I. See here three things important. The identity view as afflicted intelligence that operates by way of I and mine. So therefore here the page number 85, 86 are very, very, very crucial if you're serious about knowing emptiness. Therefore, as described here, from something to be focal object of the innate identity view, it must spontaneously give rise to the thoughts I am. Now, what does mean the innate, grasping? Mean here, therefore, describe here for something, the ignorance, to be focal object of the innate identity view, it must spontaneously give rise to the thoughts. That means the innate ignorance, all sentient beings possess the innate ignorance, the innate identity view of grasping at self-existence. Spontaneously means nobody need to teach, whether you are Buddhist, non-Buddhist, you are human being, other sentient being. Everybody possess the innate identity view of self-grasping. Spontaneously, spontaneously arise. This means innate. Spontaneously give arise to the thoughts I am. Thus, although now it's become more difficult, although the innate grasping at person with separate continue as existent through their own intrinsic characteristic does not constitute grasping at the self-existence of person. It's not the innate identity view. Person, it is not the innate identity view. Here, make sure you read, although the innate grasping at person with separate continue as existing through their own intrinsic character, thus constitute grasping at self-existence of the person. It is not the innate identity view. Very confusing, right? Please read one more. Although okay, this phrase, distinguish the two. What are the two? Grasping at self-existence of the person, grasping at the self-existence of the person, and the innate identity view, the distinct. Now, simply, I give you a very simple explanation. Because I know it's very confusing, even though when you read in Tibetan, if you don't have a, such as clear knowledge. Now we need to think ourselves. So when we reflect on our own I, right, then there's a innate identity view of grasping at self-existence. So we ourselves, our ignorance grabs our me and I as a independent. This is both. This is the innate view, innate identity view. Also, this is the grasping at the self-existence of the person. When you looking at your own I, you are let's say you are yourself grasping your own I. Is both. So innate identity view. Also, it is to be self-existent of person. Now I'm looking at you. I'm not looking myself. I'm looking at you or other person. When I look at other person, if my ignorance grabs other person as a independently existent, the ignorance is the self-existence of the person, not the innate identity view. That means when we looking when we see all the other human beings are, we grab as an independent existence, then this ignorance, but the ignorance is be only self-existent person, not the innate identity view. The innate identity view for you always need to focus on your own I, your own self, or your own me and mine. You focus other person, other sentient being, it can be grasping at the self-existent person, cannot be the innate identity view. Therefore, here you listen one more. It must be spontaneously give arising to the thoughts I am. Thus, although the innate grasping at the person with separate continue, looking other person continue as existing through own intrinsic character does constitute grasping as self-existent of the person. It is not the innate identity view. The phrase operating by way of I and mine does not indicate that mere I and me, I and mere mine are the whole object of apprehension. What is the indicated is the such as an innate identity view possess the aspect of the apprehending this true I and mine. Then next page 185 is explained very clearly then what is mine, what is I. There's no any disagreement about I. Everybody commonly accept just I. It means it's a person. Then there's many masters say mind referred to the eyes and air or consciousness. But they say this is my eyes. The many masters say the I is mine. Then Chandrakirti said, no. I and mine always must be a person or being. The eyes cannot be neither I nor mine. Next, very clear explanation for recognize which is the I and which is the mine. Eyes are not mine. Eyes are the possessed by mind. Eyes is not mine. Then if the eyes will be, let's say, be a mind, then there's no difference between the two emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of the self. Because eyes is a phenomena, also eyes is a mind. Then there's no difference. Therefore, the eyes, nose, air, five aggregates are the possessed by mind. The I is not mine. I, me, mine always need to be recognized the person of being. Okay, so we can have another half hour for discussion.
Dear Geshe,
Yes.
would you please explain again the difference between I and mine? Because the terms that you used just now, eyes and minds, it confused the M-I-N-D, mine, and M-I-N-E, mine. Maybe Geshe used another example to help us understand.
The simple, easiest example I gave. Everybody just say, I am happy. I am happy. That moment, then there's a I. Feel happy. I am happy. That moment, the I is just I. I. Clear? Second, everybody say, this is my hand. This is whom hand? This is my hand. Where's the my? My is here. This is my hand. Right? That time or that moment, there's another type of I, which is possess the hand. The hand look like belongs to the I, which we say, this is my hand. That moment, there's a I, this is the mine. No, the hand is a mine. The hand is possessed to the my. Clear? When we say I'm happy, that moment there's I, is just I. Second, he said this is my hand. That moment there's another I, which is possess the hand. That moment the eyes be possessed as a mind. Mind. The hand is not mine. The hand is possessed of the mind. Is no mind. That means I, me and my. right? Me and mine is same. When we say, I am a human being, just we're talking about just I. There's no any position. I am a human being, just I. The second, this is my body, this is my book, this is my house. Then there's another types of I arise. This I refer to mine. The car, house are not mine. The car and house, you know, under the phenomena, not under the self. That means I and mine both is under the person, under the being. The eyes and the eyes and the rest of the five aggregates under the phenomena, not under the person and being. I hope it's clear. If not, then you can read, you know, a few pages more precisely, then you can have a better understanding. Okay, next question.
Geshe-la, there's this question from the Chinese side. It is regarding compassion and great compassion. Geshe-la, I understand that compassion, when it becomes boundless, then that is posited as great compassion. So compassion that can extend without boundaries is called great compassion. I have a question regarding compassion is a mind. It can expand without boundary. So does anger and hatred. So anger and hatred, can they expand without boundary? Is it possible?
Again, you know, thank you so much asking the first and the second question. Here, what you need to know very clearly, there's a differences between immeasurable compassion and great compassion. Even though the Hinayana practitioner or the hearer and self-realizer practitioner has an immeasurable compassion, immeasurable love and compassion towards all sentient beings. We should not think they are very, you know, narrow-minded. They're only thinking for themselves. No, they also have a boundless, boundless compassion towards all sentient beings. Those we call immeasurables. We cannot measure immeasurable love and compassion, but not great compassion. Here you need to remember the analogy is, you know, this modern term is not that suitable to use the analogy. Let's say, you know, one couple has only one child, the beloved child, right? There's only one child. And the child falls in the, what you call the, you know, big, let's say the toilet trunk, separate trunk, right? Separate trunk fall in. Then the father and mother both can see their own child is, you know, suffering, dying. Then the analogy here, it looks like a little bit of discrimination, but I'm not sure we is. Then the mother have a great compassion. So the mother had a compassion, immeasurable compassion. The father also have a same compassion. The mother have a compassion. The mother don't have the ability to jump and save the child. The father has the ability, the father know how to swim, and he jump and save the child. So both have a immeasurable compassion. The father has a great compassion. He not just have a compassion, he has the ability, he has the kind of commitment, I will say. Therefore, the hearer and self-realizer practitioner have a compassion to all sentient beings, but they cannot imagine, they cannot, you know, cannot have a commitment, say, I will save all sentient beings. Therefore, second, you need to know the differences between great compassion and immeasurable compassion. The boundless compassion, immeasurable compassion are same meaning. Great compassion plus the boundless compassion, you must have a commitment to say, I will say. Then the compassion become great compassion. The second question also very important. Yes, that this is the very unique quality between the negative thoughts and the positive thoughts. We can develop love, compassion, kindness, tolerance towards all sentient beings, any kinds of sentient being, any kinds of human being, ugly, beauty, whatever we can generate. Intentionally, we can generate, we can cultivate. Anger, hatred, attachment, we cannot generate towards all sentient beings. Therefore, the negative thoughts are very naturally very biased. Also, if somebody asks you to please generate anger for 3 hours, yeah, at the beginning, yes, we can generate, we can develop anger towards our enemy, very pure enemy, visualize the enemy, then we think all the negativity, we can generate anger. But we cannot generate the anger further more, continuously few hours, few days, few weeks, cannot. If you try to generate the anger with the intentionally, first, yes, beginning, but you cannot continue. Also, will have all the physical challenges will be there. You get headache, you feel thirsty, you feel fever. It's a lot of negative energy. Compassion, you generate towards all sentient beings. You can generate furthermore, continuously, few weeks. You feel very peace, very calm, very happy, a lot of positivities. Anger, if you're angry for like 2-3 hours, definitely you have a headache. You cannot sleep. Your BB go up, right? Compassion, no. This is the unique, characteristic between positive and negative thoughts. None of the person can generate anger towards anybody. No. Also, intentionally, you can generate anger, hatred, attachment for the short time. Then cannot. If you try to generate continuously, you will have all the physical problem, like attachment. Right? Let's say if I ask you, please cultivate attachment, or you can generate attachment to food, clothes, possessions, or person for the short time. You cannot generate attachment continuously, for many hours. At the end, you cannot find any means to generate anger and attachment continuously. You cannot generate continuously towards everything, anything. Compassion, love for anybody, everybody, any kinds of person. This is the difference. Therefore, his example is, all the anger and attachment is look like boiling a water. You have one pot full of water. If the pot is full of water, you make a fire. You can see it's boiling. Continuously you boil the water for 3 hours. You can see the water minimize, decreasing. Finally, the water going to disappear. You cannot generate furthermore. The compassion kindness look like growing sprout of tree, bigger and bigger. Finally, you have all kinds of beautiful fruits. This is the differences between negative and positive. Therefore, all the negative thoughts are baseless, not stable. there's no stability. All the positive thoughts has a strong basis, have a lot of logics and reasoning. Also, it's very stable. Okay, next question.
Next question is, Geshe, I and mine, is it independently originated?
Yes, after mind depend, of course, mind arises based on me or I. Yeah. So I'm not sure what does mean, dependent originated mean. It depends each other. Or you generally, you asking it is dependent originated. Yes, all phenomena, positive, negative, everything is originate, dependently originated. There's no any phenomena which is not, originated by dependent arising. Generally, then mind is the different, little bit different, become different characteristic based on the I. For example, I am happy, just I want to eat, I want to drink, it's just I. Second, when the I possess the water, this is my water, then the I character change a little bit, like possessing something. Then actually, mine, I is still merely designated self, designated I. Yes, next question.
Is there a risk to get disengaged and distant from self, other sentient beings, and all phenomena when realizing emptiness or selflessness, even without falling into nihilism?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Is there a risk to get disengaged and distant from self, other sentient beings, and all phenomena when we realizing emptiness or selflessness, even without falling into nihilism? Then second question, is compassion and the four immeasurables the antidotes to such an eventual disengagement or distanciation?
Okay, is there a risk to get disintegrate and distinct from self, other sentient being, and all phenomena when realizing emptiness, selflessness, even without falling into nihilism? Nihilism is compassion and the four immutable, the antidotes to such as eventual disagreement of the distinctions. This one I think we can keep for the next we have a class, right? We will have a class or next.
This will be last class for June.
Oh, this is the last?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is there a risk to get disengaged and
Sorry, Geshe. I think the questions is about to ask, is it because, can it be when we realize emptiness or selflessness, we start to don't look at ourselves, we don't care ourselves or other sentient beings, so kind of like disengage and distance from all the sentient beings because everything is selflessness and is emptiness. So there's like,
yeah.
So you maybe is this, so can the student who asked these questions clarify if
Is
that
correct?
what you mean?
Is to get disengaged and the distinct from self, right? Other sentient being and all phenomena when we realize emptiness. This means are you saying when we realize the emptiness, we totally distinct from self, other sentient being? When we realize emptiness, selflessness, are you saying this question? Are you asking this kind of question? Okay. This one I'm not sure that if you are saying when we realize emptiness, we're going to distinct with from 7 other sentient beings is not true. The more you realize understand emptiness, the more you care others. Therefore, there's a truth to that conventional ultimate. The more you have the better understanding you have on conventional truth, the deeper understanding you must have of conventional truth. The more deeper understanding you have the conventional truth, the more deeper understanding you will gain on the conventional truth. Therefore, emptiness, realizing emptiness is the most important, conducive condition to generate love and compassion, particularly the pure love and compassion. For example, you are resting on the edge of the mountain, and below there's a very high kind of mountain. So you are just resting there. Then there's some person is walking towards the edge. The person is blind. The person lost the track. Now he's walking towards the edge. When you see the person is walking towards the edge, will you totally ignore, or you very much care the person? Generally, average people definitely will care the person. He knows the person going to fall over, he is blind. When you realize the person is blind, you have such a great care to save the person. Therefore, when we realize also why all sentient beings is samsara, why we have all this problem. Yes, we can understand the environment problem, business problem, job problem, relationship problem. This one we understand why we have economic problems, why we have a environment problem, why we have a relationship problem. Why we understand, we no need to use any logics. The most important is somebody asks, if you ask yourself, why I have anger, why I have attachment, why I have ignorance, why I have ego, jealousy. Our teacher, none of the teacher taught us, you must be angry person, you must be jealousy person, you must be short tempered. Also, our parents never teach us. Parents always teach be compassion. But naturally, why we have this kind of, problems, anger, attachment, anxiety, depression, ego, jealousy, how this come in our body, in our mind? How come this thing with us, right? Then we realize, everything's from ignorance. You realize, then you control ignorance. And you see somebody has all the problem, then you feel compassion towards them. I wish they also realize that ignorance is the cause. Therefore, realizing it, this is very important question. Also very important to understand. When we have emptiness, means nothing exists inherently. Everything looks like for me like a dream. Yes, in a way, it's look a dream. It doesn't mean there's nothing. Like think about, imagine you have a scary dream while you are sleeping. You are sleeping, you have all the scary dream. During the dreaming time, you have a sense of scary. You feel very scary. When you have a very beautiful dreaming, you feel have a sense of happiness. It's a dream, but the dream have a function to produce happiness and suffering, samsara. Therefore, things that look like dream. It doesn't have any function. Therefore, the more you understand emptiness, the more you understand selflessness, the more you have to, automatically you're going to generate pure love and compassion. Okay, so we take one question, then we stop. No more question?
No, so no, that's all for today.
Then I really appreciate all of you to continuously attend the Madhyamaka class, illuminating the intents. So I'm going to India very soon for 5 months my duty. Somebody asking, oh, are you going to Ladakh? Oh, are you going to holiday? No. I'm arriving in Amritsar on the 17th night. 18 I stay in Amritsar. 19 morning I leave to Dharamsala in the monastery directly. Then 2 days I just stay in one of the monks' room. Then the monastery officially informed me, you will be the discipline master for next 5 months. The next day, I move to another room. It's like 5 months, permanently for 5 months. Since 1st of July or 2nd of July, I will start my duty for 5 months. The duty will be difficult, will be very busy. Then everybody has 2 questions. What about the like teaching and classes? So I will I will teach 2 classes by Zoom. Also depends on the internet. I hope we can have a stable internet, that we can have 2 classes a week. But the classes Saturday and Sunday, I try to teach Saturday and Sunday. The timing I cannot confirm always this and this, always this. With the timing will be changed. But I try to conduct the class by Zoom. Second question is, oh, we have a daily puja here, because we have a daily puja long list. What about? The puja I daily do in TBC in the morning, afternoon, with my daily prayers. Even though when I go for long walking, I do puja. The puja doesn't matter, I'm in Singapore, I'm in Dharamsala, India. Every day I will do the daily puja to benefit all these people. That means I will do class and the prayers. The class timing, we cannot say every Saturday, Sunday from this to that. Also sometimes we have to cancel the Saturday class, or sometimes Sunday, sometimes both. But I will inform in the ESCO, okay, next Sunday class from this time to this time. Or next Saturday class, this time to this time. Or next, I cannot have classes. Because one, my schedule will be very busy. Whatever the monastery, the monk need to go out, or come in, everything I have to decide. Then there's a long, like hours puja many times, every day. So I teach, the timing will be changed. I carry the daily puja. Then I hope all of you see in maybe in September and October in Dharamsala. Okay, thank you. So please dedicate the merit for realizing emptiness, ourselves and all sentient being from the verses from the entering middle way.